This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Mike Murphy.
Thank you, Charlie. I am Mike Murphy, host of the Good Neighbor Podcast. We talk to local business owners and influencers so that you can get to know them as people and not just logos on a building or on a business card. And today we have with us not only a good neighbor, but a good guy too. He's somebody who I've known for a little while, and I want those of you who don't know him to know him. He is Dr. Bob Coppola, All-Star Chiropractic. Bob, welcome to the show. Tell people who you are and tell us a little bit about All-Star Chiropractic.
Sure, Mike. Thanks for having me on here. We started All-Star Chiropractic 2004, and we've kind of grown since then. We're on our we moved down the road about 7 or 8 years ago, but the first office was in Ellesmere. We moved here to Florence, but since then we've opened up 3 more locations. So right now we are located in Florence, Independence, Hebron, and Covington.
Okay. Do you have plans for a 5th, or are you just kind of like settled into your pocket right now and just rocking and rolling and grooving with the 4 you got?
Yeah, we're pretty happy right now. We have a great group of docs, staff. That's everyone says nowadays. Staff's the hardest thing to do, and we're pretty fortunate. We have a great staff and all the locations, and we're able to kind of hit a lot of Northern Kentucky just with our blueprint of where we're located right now. 5th location, I don't know if we did, it'd be closer towards the Campbell County side because that's kind of where we're not at right now.
Okay. I know as a business owner, you're never able to really shut your brain down, and you're always kind of thinking next thing. But there's something to be said for sitting where you are and doing it right while you're doing it. There's a lot of things you're into. We'll get around to it. And as far as the other docs go, I think I'd like to talk to them, individually at some point. But for today, it's all about Dr. Bob, as long as you're okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
So how did you get involved in chiropractic?
I had a distant cousin who was a chiropractor, and we've talked about it for years. Actually, coming out of high school, I actually thought I was going to do the law school route. And then, playing football in college, a lot of aches and pains. They give you some kind of medication or something just to kind of, take the pain away. I kind of looked at it as, I have a chance to work with athletes, which I love, chance to work with people, which I love, and then able to use more of a drug-free method to deliver my care for patients with the types of pains like that. Okay.
Well, you mentioned UC, you were an athlete. I believe you were a receiver when you played football. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So I picture receivers coming across the middle and just getting clobbered. And kind of being defenseless, and your body's kind of taking a beating. So I can understand the pain part of it.
We played on the old AstroTurf too. That AstroTurf was before they came out with the new stuff. That was tough on the body for sure. Cincinnati had one of the original turfs.
Okay, yeah. Well, you seem to have come through it okay. You look fine. You're walking fine.
Yeah.
I hope you feel fine. Good. So, what percentage of your business comes from people who maybe have suffered an accident or injury versus people that are just sort of feeling general aches and pains and they don't know what's going on, and so they come in to kind of get checked out by you?
Yeah, sure, Mike. I'd say the majority of our patients, more of that cumulative trauma, they call it. So sitting at a computer over time, and that kind of builds up. We do have our injuries and our accidents and our sports injuries for sure. But I'd say our average patient is that cumulative trauma that, whether they developed some arthritic condition in their back or neck from sitting, but just posture and posture awareness, especially with today's society with computers and phones, that's a big part of what we see here. And it's not, a lot of times it's hard to, tell the patient exactly. They'll say, what I do? Well, it's hard to say what you did. Here's what's wrong with you, but what did you do? If I follow you around the last 10 years, I could probably tell you what you've been doing, but what you actually did to cause this pain, it was just kind of building up over time. Usually it's when the patient kind of throws in the towel and they say, all right, Advil's not working, doing nothing's not working. So let's try a conservative approach before I go try medicine or injections or even surgery.
Well, daily Advil is no way to go through life anyways. So we all know that that's, maybe a temporary thing, but we're all searching for the whys of why we have that pain and whatnot. For me, I know my wife gets on me because she catches me doing the whole hunch down over my phone thing,
Sure.
So I'm trying to be more conscious and aware of that. I guess we should take a step back because I realize there might be people out there that really don't understand what chiropractic is. So in terms of a definition, what is chiropractic?
Sure. I mean, lots of definitions if you would Google it. But to simplify it, I think, what we do is alleviate pain. Just like if you went to your pain management doctor, we're trying to alleviate pain and improve function and kind of improve what people want to do in life and allow them to be able to do that pain-free. Just the delivery method's different. So if you're going to your medical doctor, the method may be medication or it might be an injection. So, ultimately what chiropractic does is help people function better and with less pain. We just deliver it in a different manner. So we're using our hands, we're using different therapies, some physical therapy type stuff like massage therapy, dry needling, whether it's exercises and stretches. But chiropractic means effective treatment by hands. So we still want to get back to the root of what we do and use our hands to manipulate the spine. And often it's to alleviate the pressure on a nerve. A lot of what people experience is nerve pressure and everything controlled by the body has to go through the spine because it starts from the brain, comes down through the spinal cord, and then it exits at different various levels in the spine. For example, if it's the lower cervical, the neck area, that's going to control more of the arms versus the lumbar spine. If someone's having a radiating leg pain shooting down their leg, it's likely coming from the lumbar spine. So everything we do influences and affects the way the nerves travel to the body.
Okay. So everybody really is different. You have to look at every case individually and figure out what's unique about that particular person and do a treatment plan for them specifically. Is that correct?
Yeah, and that's probably my favorite part of the job. It's not, it's redundant in the fact that we treat pain, but no case is the same. And I get to deal with people, different ages, different causes of their injury. And I think that's probably the best part of my job. And just, it keeps me active every day. Every day is different. And that's what I love about it.
So I'm known to go down different YouTube rabbit holes. One that I've traveled down quite a bit is I get caught up watching chiropractors adjust people, excuse me, and I see the look on their faces. I see, the quick movement, the cracking of the neck and the cracking of the back and all that stuff. And I say to myself, what's stopping a doc from snapping the neck of somebody? Because it sounds violent, but I want you to put my mind at ease that that's not going to happen.
Sure. So, I'd say, well, for one, in that term cracking, and that people say, crack my neck, doc, we're not cracking anything. So we're actually moving the spine in a way that, you might get that popping sound. That popping sound really doesn't have to happen for us to accomplish what we're trying to do.
Okay.
But in essence, you said ease your mind. So I heard a story once a long time ago. I was at a seminar, and the guy said, he's talking to a medical doctor, and he said, why would I refer to you if you guys, what you do is it's safe? Then he asked him, he goes, what do you think I pay in malpractice premiums? And the guy was, $50,000, $60,000, and it's considerably lower than that. To the point where when I tell people that, they're like, you kidding me? That's all you pay? So if the insurance companies think what we're doing is safe, then that's a pretty good indicator that what we're doing is safe. Now, there's risks with everything. There's risks with medication, with injections, with physical therapy, with exercises. But as far as our risk, it's so low that the insurance companies don't even charge us a lot to insure us.
Okay. Well, let's see. If people want to come to you, one question I'm sure that they probably have is, do you accept insurance? Do you? I assume you do. And maybe
Yeah,
you also help people that don't have insurance.
sure. Kind of like there's a lot of chiropractors that don't accept insurance at all. And it's a lot of times, and I don't know this, I'm not going to put words in their mouth, but I think they either aren't happy with what the insurance company, how they work with them, how they reimburse them. To me, we're in an area where we're an insurance heavy area, and a lot of people are insured here. And I feel like people want to use their insurance. So if we didn't take it, I put myself an example. I pay my insurance premiums. I want to go to a doctor that accepts my insurance. So we accept all health insurance, which is good. I'd say about only 10 to 15% of our patients that see us don't have insurance, and we have affordable rates, which very similar to what they would pay if they would use their insurance. So we try to keep that at an affordable rate because a lot of times people, they're in between jobs. So they have to go through or not go through insurance for a small period of time. So we try to be affordable that way for sure.
So have you ever adjusted somebody and made their pain go away, and it's just like profoundly life-changing for them? Do people get emotional? Do people cry? Do people do you have a really cool, great story around that too? Like, I assume you have some really good stories. You mind sharing one of them?
Yeah, I mean, just the other day, the patients I love the most are the ones that they're kind of skeptical and they don't quite understand or think that we're going to help them, or they think it's going to be, the kind of traditional thought behind chiropractic as, oh, if I see you, I have to go see you every day forever. And then they come in and they get this amount of relief they get right away. They're it's not necessarily crying, but they're very grateful. And I have people leave in the office and they say, I tell everyone about you, Dr. Bob. Like, you're the only one that can help me. And that's the kind of stuff we love. But that initial patient, that skeptical one that is unsure if we're going to be able to help them, like even today, I had a new patient today. And she got up and she's like, I don't think she expected to feel much better after just the first treatment. And she stood up and she kind of shook her body around. She's like, she did what hurt before she got there. It hurt when she looked down, and she was able to do that. She's like, okay, there's no pain with that. So not necessarily an emotional response.
Yeah.
Obviously you get your ones where, they've had pain for 25 years. Those tend to be more the emotional ones where they tried everything. But I say, no, you didn't try everything or you wouldn't be here. So they come in and they're seeing us. And I think that's more the ones where they're even so surprised and they get a little emotional sometimes.
Yeah. Somebody being in pain for 25 years, I can't even fathom that. I'm sure that those situations exist for a lot of reasons, but boy, oh boy, I would have thought that, somewhere along the line, they would have found relief somewhere, but I guess.
Yeah. I had a patient once that had headaches every day for years, every single day. And it took several months with us because I kind of tell people the longer you wait, the longer it takes. So if you have pain for a longer period of time or headaches for a longer period of time, that's going to take a little longer, in my opinion, to fix it just based on experience. But we got her to completely headache free. And that was probably the most emotional patient ever was because she thought she's just going to suffer for headaches for the rest of her life.
Wow. Well, there's nothing fun about headaches. I'm one of those people, thank God. I might get one headache a year, if that. I have a son who suffers from migraines quite often. So somebody who suffers from migraines a lot, are they a candidate for a chiropractor to come in and just sort of maybe see what's going on?
I mean, it's definitely an option for people because usually with migraines, people that suffer from migraines usually suffer from tension headaches as well. And chiropractic does really well with tension headaches. So a lot of times if they get 10 headaches a month, 3 of those might be that migraine vascular type headache. Well, 7 of those are tension. So I fixed 7 other headaches, and all of a sudden now I look like I cured your migraines. But really, I think we're helping those ones that are related to the tension. Sometimes as a result of the migraine can lead to that tension. But we're definitely able to reduce those amount of headaches for sure.
Okay. So pivoting here for a moment, I've met members of your family, and I want to talk about family for a little bit. Your wife, Colleen, I've met her out and about a couple places, and you guys have been married for quite a while. I think it's 22 years now, right?
Yep, 22 years this past August, yeah.
How did you meet Colleen?
It's funny. So playing football at Cincinnati, she was actually on the dance team. So we met there in the training room. And like I brought up why I went to chiropractic school, being in the training room, but we met there for like our post-season physicals, and that's kind of how we met and really we've been together ever since. That was like 1998, I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a long time.
So that story's still being written year by year.
Yeah.
And with that story comes kids. Your daughter, Olivia, I know she's a gymnast at the University of Illinois, correct?
Yes. So she's a sophomore there, getting ready for second season, which starts in January.
Okay. So how has she adapted to being further away? And how have you adapted to having her be so far away?
She's doing great. She's very strong-willed, independent, does well even since a little kid. I always use a story like if the Home Alone movie, if we ever left her home accidentally when she was a kid, she'd go to Kroger, she'd get everything she needed to cook something, and she would do everything she needed to do to survive. And that's kind of her mentality and her independence in college.
Okay.
We're 3.5 hours away, so we definitely see her more during season. I think she likes being 3.5 hours away just for the recruiting process. I mean, we looked at schools as far as the state of Washington. So I think she's kind of now sinking in, and she's like, okay, this is a lot better than having to fly 5 hours and not be able to come home. And a lot of times her and my wife, they'll meet in Indianapolis, which is a nice little meeting point to get her off campus and to get them together a little bit. Yeah.
Far enough away to be far away, but close enough to be close.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And then the youngest, Anthony, he's still at Ryle, correct?
Yeah, he's a junior at Ryle right now. Baseball, basketball for him.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see on occasion photos of him on social media, during games and whatnot. So he seems to be rocking and rolling.
Basketball season just kind of kicked in for practice-wise. Season will start after Thanksgiving. I think he would love to play baseball at the next level. Basketball, I mean, he loves it. He's on the shorter side, but he's a point guard. So as far as being able to excel at the next level, I think he really likes baseball and plays on a really competitive summer team. And Ryle's team did really well last year too, and made it to state and won a few games there. So that was great.
So since we're on personal topics, there's one thing I want to touch on that we won't get too deep into it because I want to save it for a separate podcast.
Sure.
And that is, you guys have opened up a new venture up in the Loveland area, correct?
Yeah, Mike. We started. It's a bar boutique, if you will, but it's my wife had a dream her whole life. She wanted to own her own boutique, and we had an opportunity to take over a space in the downtown Loveland area, kind of in the square. I always wanted to have my own wine bar, so this kind of worked out to be both. So we have a boutique with a wine bar in there. So she kind of runs the boutique side. I kind of run from afar the wine side and the planning for it. I'm up there every once in a while, and it's fun. I call it my fun job, but then I say, you know what, my chiropractic job is also my fun job. So it's hard to say one versus the other, but kind of more of a passion project. We called it, my daughter's name's Olivia Rose, and my wife always wanted to open a boutique called Olivia Rose. And this kind of made sense where Rose means love. We're in Loveland. Rosé is a type of wine. So we came up with Rosé Boutique and Wine Bar.
Oh, okay. Nice. I still haven't been up there, but just because I'm busy, but I'm going to make time. So you're telling me, Colleen, does she go up there every day?
No, I'd say sometimes it's 3 or 4 days a week. Sometimes it's 2. I mean, we have great staff up there as well. And I think just as far as owning a business and running a business, it doesn't really matter what type of business it is. If you know how to, recruit good staff, you know how to, do day-to-day operations of a business. So it's kind of a seamless transition. I mean, obviously we're learning a little bit of a new industry as far as retail and wine bar, but as far as just managing the business, I have 20 years experience doing that here. And like I said, we have great staff up there, and we're about a 45-minute drive. So that's a little bit of could be an issue, but a lot of our staff lives 5 minutes away. So that's really helpful. And
it's a beautiful area. I mean, that's an area that people like to go to, and it's.
I call it a Hallmark town. It's a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a postcard. It does. All right. Well, I promise to make the trek up there. And to
it's fun. We'd love to have you there. Yeah, I like telling people I'll take them on a wine journey. It's a lot of fun.
And your basement at home is pretty cool too. So that's another place I have to.
Yeah, we'll do the next podcast there. We'll do the next podcast there.
Oh, I would love that. Okay. Yeah. We'll just have to get the business handled before we get into any sort of bourbon or wine, but
that's right.
Yeah, I'll take you up on it. Well, we've already talked for 20 minutes. I told you it would go fast, and it's gone fast. Yeah. I think we've done a good job of just kind of getting some of the main talking points about who, what, where, why, when, how you are. And sure. I appreciate you taking time to sit with us and kind of giving us an understanding of where you've been, where you are, and where you're going.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. I mean, this is always, I like telling the story. I like spreading the word about not even All-Star Chiropractic, but the chiropractic in general, because I think a couple of years ago, I looked into the percentage of subscribers for a particular insurance company who use their chiropractic benefits, and it was 9%. So if that would translate over to other insurance companies, which would translate over to just the population in general, I'd say it's less than 9% seek chiropractic care or use their benefits for chiropractic care. So I think by spreading the word about just chiropractic in general is going to help the profession. It's going to help our offices. It's going to help people find maybe an alternative to what they've been doing to help with what they're going through.
Well, you're not only, doing the physical adjustments, the hands-on stuff, but education is a huge part of what you do. So I think
there's a lot of questions. People have a lot of questions, and being able to kind of articulate an answer that they could understand in a way that affects them. They don't really care about the science behind it. They want to know, hey, it hurts when I swing a golf club and I need to golf. So what can we do to fix that? And why do I have pain? That's what they want to know.
Okay. Well, there's plenty of questions people have. You never know what questions they have until they ask them.
Yep.
And there's plenty of education to share. So I think you and I will sit down on occasion and do future podcasts and just, educate little by little, share your expertise with the community. And I thank you for sitting with us today and knocking out podcast number 1.
I appreciate it, Mike. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. And anytime I'd love to do another one.
Thanks, Dr. Bob. So to the listeners out there, I'll say, we can't wait to see you again next time. Until then, everybody, be good to your neighbors. So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Union. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpunion.com. That's gnpunion.com, or call us at 859-651-8330.